He was called a genius, a dreamer, and even a madman. But his ideas changed the way we understand the universe, time, space, and even reality itself. This is the story of Albert Einstein, the man who proved that imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Albert Einstein was born in 1879 in Ulm, Germany. As a child, he didn't speak until he was 4 years old. His parents worried that something was wrong with him. He was quiet, curious, and loved to ask questions that nobody could answer. When his father gave him a small compass, young Albert became obsessed. No matter how he turned it, the needle always pointed north. Something invisible was controlling it, and he wanted to know what. That curiosity became the spark that would later change the world. Einstein didn't fit into the traditional school system. He hated strict rules and memorization. One of his teachers even told him, "You'll never amount to anything." But Einstein wasn't lazy, he just learned differently. He wanted to understand why things worked, not just how. After school, he spent hours reading books on physics and philosophy, teaching himself what teachers couldn't explain. In his 20s, Einstein couldn't find a job as a teacher or scientist. So he took a boring job at the Swiss Patent Office, reviewing other people's inventions. But that quiet office became his laboratory. Every day, surrounded by machines and technical drawings, he thought about the deepest mysteries of the universe. And then, in 1905, he had his miracle year. In just 1 year, Einstein published 4 papers that would rewrite the laws of physics forever. One, he explained how light behaves both as a wave and a particle, a discovery that later won him the Nobel Prize. 2, he proved that atoms are real by describing how tiny particles move in liquid. 3, he introduced the special theory of relativity, showing that time and space are not fixed but flexible. 4, and finally, he wrote the most famous equation in history. E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. It meant that matter and energy are the same thing, just in different forms. It also opened the door to nuclear power. And, sadly, nuclear weapons. Einstein became a global celebrity. Newspapers called him the new Newton. But fame never changed him. He walked to work without socks, played the violin for hours, and often forgot where he left his note. Yet, behind the friendly smile, he carried heavy thoughts. When World War I broke out, he spoke against violence and nationalism. Later, as a Jewish scientist in Germany, he watched his homeland fall under Nazi rule. He fled to America, never to return. In his later years, Einstein kept searching for what he called the theory of everything, one equation that could unite all the forces of nature. He never found it, but he never stopped trying. When people asked him why he kept working, he said, "I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are details." Albert Einstein died in 1955, quietly in his sleep. On his desk, he left unfinished papers filled with equations, his final attempt to solve the mysteries of the universe. But his ideas live on. From GPS satellites to nuclear energy, from quantum physics to black holes, everything we know about the cosmos is built on Einstein's vision. He once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited, but imagination encircles the world." Einstein taught us that true genius isn't just about intelligence, it's about curiosity, persistence, and wonder. He looked at the universe not as a machine, but as a mystery waiting to be understood. And in doing so, he changed forever how we see time, space, and ourselves. Because Albert Einstein didn't just explain the universe, he reimagined it.